Entitlement Order, Legal and Spiritual Reclamation. 1. Definitions in legal context. According to Article 8 of the Uniform Commercial Code, an entitlement holder is defined as a person identified in the records of a securities intermediary as the individual who holds a security entitlement. This includes those who acquire such entitlement under Section 8 to 501b, 2, or 3. An entitlement order refers to a notification sent to a securities intermediary directing the transfer or redemption of a financial asset linked to the entitlement holder. A financial asset, unless otherwise defined in Section 8 to 103, may refer to a security, a debt obligation or interest in a person, property, or enterprise recognized for investment purposes or traded in financial markets. Any property held by a securities intermediary for another individual in a securities account, when an agreement exists to treat that property as a financial asset. The term financial asset includes the interest itself or the documentation evidencing the entitlement, such as certificated or uncertificated securities, security certificates, or security entitlements. 2. Declaration of Spiritual Sovereignty. Before Abraham was, I am. As a divine spirit in human form, I acknowledge that the physical body I inhabit is composed of elements imbued with the Creator's essence. I exist in oneness with divine light and eternal consciousness, beyond the constraints of time. In this realm, I am recognized as Jeffrey of the family Anderson, a living man, a freeborn peaceful inhabitant, heir to the divine estate, settler and beneficiary of the divine trust, and rightful freeholder in fee simple absolute. I am one of the posterity referred to in the preamble of the United States Constitution, acting in my tribunal capacity within a court of record. 3. Legal entrapment in the estate in trust. At birth, without full disclosure, my estate was placed into trust under the jurisdiction of the United States, with the state of California acting as intermediary. A charitable trust was created to lease my estate to the congressional entities established under the 14th Amendment. The legal fiction of my estate has remained in suspense, awaiting my rightful claim as the living heir. 4. Reclaiming the estate. Having awakened to the truth long obscured, I hereby claim and redeem my estate. I accept the deed that lawfully establishes my right as the entitlement holder and lawful owner. The estate, including all land, tenements, and hereditaments, vests fully in me to hold in fee simple absolute. 5. Election to take against the will. As heir, I reject the provisions offered under the will and elect to assert my contractual rights. This estate and its rightful heir are not bound by the 14th Amendment, nor by the statutes, codes, or administrative constructs created under it. 6. Acceptance of oath of office. I hereby accept the oaths and bonds of all public officers, binding them by their sworn duty to defend the rights and property of the sovereign. These officers shall receive sovereign immunity while executing my lawful orders. All orders or writs issued under my seal are binding upon public servants, agencies, and individuals. Failure to comply constitutes treason and breach of oath. 7. Lease termination. It is determined by my free will that all past and present leases, pledges, or authorizations granted over this estate are hereby revoked. All rights, powers, and interests granted under such agreements are terminated. A full accounting and return of all principal and interest are hereby demanded. 8. Demand for delinquent rent. Having satisfied all prerequisite conditions, I demand payment of all past due rents. Full satisfaction is due immediately. A full accounting of assets, interest, and principal must be returned to the estate. 9. Future administration of the estate. Henceforth, this estate shall be governed in alignment with the original Constitution, excluding the 14th Amendment. The estate shall operate as a charitable trust under the sole direction of its settlor and beneficiary. 10. Purpose and vision. This estate stands in peaceful coexistence with all nations and in harmony with the earth. Its purpose is to facilitate global healing, support human evolution beyond scarcity and fear, and promote the realization of a compassionate, abundant world. 11. The domain property. The estate includes private domain lands, reserved for the use of the owner and their family. These shall be conveyed for immediate possession. The estate shall be managed to preserve its legacy. The physical body of the heir is considered part of the domain and is therefore inviolable. 12. Fiduciary duties and entitlement rights. The intermediary shall appoint a fiduciary to oversee administration and meet with the entitlement holder. The fiduciary is expected to coordinate the return of domain property and fulfill all obligations, including rent collection. The securities intermediary must comply with entitlement orders initiated by the appropriate party, facilitate changes in holding format as directed, treat the entitlement holder equivalently to the owner, act on directives regarding financial assets, including how the estate is to be leased or administrated. 13. Final declaration. Let this stand as a final declaration. All rights reserved by Jeffrey, entitlement holder, acting in full awareness and free will. _ seal your name, entitlement holder, Entitlement Order 12928.